Hello and welcome to the Studio77 report for May 2023. We are giving you the latest updates, announcements and event news from the mayamada universe, and I'm the mayamada co-founder Nigel.
I am Tazziii. I'm a content creator and the mayamada creative director.
And for those that don't know, mayamada is a UK-based creative brand that creates comics featuring an all-animal cast of characters. So the brand is set within a television network universe, and each of our manga titles tells the story of a different show. We also run the community gaming event Gamepad and deliver a bunch of creative workshops with young people across the country. In addition to that, we have a membership and digital platform called Studio77 where we host shows interviewing creative professionals from various industries like comics, video games and animation. So to hear those discussions on this month's stories and to gain exclusive access to events and mayamada network, you can become a Studio77 member. So we're going to start this update as usual with this month's pro industry tip. Each month, we like to highlight advice from a creative professional that has come from one of the Studio77 shows. And this month, the tip comes from Cari Watterton, who is the senior accessibility designer at Rebellion. So I spoke to Cari on our podcast, episode 137 of the Story X Story podcast. And we had a good discussion about her journey, how she discovered the role, and really like what accessibility means in video games, not just for those who you might think need it, but for everyone. So encourage people to check out that episode. And what was interesting is she said something that wasn't necessarily specific advice, but I felt that it's something worth highlighting and considering for, especially for people who are just starting in the industry. So she talks about her early days in her career. So she says, early on in my career, while I was at uni, I ended up being fired from a games industry job and felt like I failed, like I'd be blacklisted from the industry and I wouldn't get anywhere. But ultimately, it made me so much stronger. And like I said, it wasn't a specific piece of like advice, but she talked about how, you know, she went on to learn to read contracts more. She asked more questions following that. It just made her stronger. So I felt it's something that is really worth keeping in mind for people where failure doesn't necessarily mean failure. And it's things that you can learn from. And even after doing this, like mayamada for so long, I have to remind myself it's not even failure, it's just learning. So Tazziii, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think this is like a really great bit of advice to pick up from what Cari said. And like, I was not able to make this episode, but I did listen to it back and it was a great episode. It was quite nice actually, because I was just like taking notes. Because I wasn't thinking about asking questions. I was just like fully taking notes. And this was one of the things that also stood out to me. And it is, I feel like it's very easy to like beat yourself up and like internalize a lot of like negative thoughts when things don't really go necessarily as planned. The important thing is like, what do you learn from that moment that may feel like a failure, but is actually a really good learning opportunity?
Yeah, and it's necessary as well. You'll find that as well when you look back. It's like, oh, this needed to happen so I can learn this and then move on in a better way. So yeah, a really good thing to keep in mind if you are someone who's looking to get into a creative industry or any industry really, that failure is not the end, just keep learning. If that resonated with you, definitely check out the episode and subscribe to the podcast so you can catch other discussions that we have with creative professionals. Most of them Tazziii is on. We'll get to hear her ask questions as well.
But we have lots to come from the mayamada brand and Studio77 members. So Nigel, do you want to tell us a bit about what's going on in the universe?
Yeah, so we've got a load of manga plans in the works. It has been a year of working on things behind the scenes, but we're now at a point where over the coming weeks and months, we can start to reveal some. And we're going to talk about some of that in this update. So one of the things we're working on is a new manga featuring Tazzii's character. And it's basically a origin story of how Tazzii's character got to the mayamada universe. And we're going to be doing a Kickstarter launch for that. So we'll be at London Comic Con at the end of this month, and we're going to work on getting a preview of the Kickstarter page up for a launch in June. So you can look forward to that. You could also look forward to us talking about manga at the London Comic Con. So on the Sunday of the event, that's the 28th of May, for 2:30 p.m, we'll be on the Artist Alley stage talking about manga and how it's been used outside of Japan with a bunch of other manga creators and fans. So really looking forward to that conversation.
That sounds like a really great discussion, and I'm looking forward to hearing that. Talking of discussions, on the 2nd of May, Nigel was speaking to comic writer Yomi Ayeni in the casual conversations with comic creators that we have. So you should be able to catch that on the VOD. It should be up for another 14 days. So check that out. We also have our games night coming up, and we're not quite sure what date it's going to be because we normally do it on the last Thursday of each month, but we have a very busy end of May and we don't know what game we're going to be playing either. But
it's all up in the air.
It's all up in the air. You can check out our past games nights because we have some highlights over on our YouTube channel to get an idea of what happens in those. Chaos, yeah. And if you like games, or you know people that do, you might be interested in our campaign. So we've launched this year's Do I Look Like a Gamer campaign to promote diversity and inclusion in the video games industry. It's now a yearly initiative building on the work that we done last year and continuing the push for diversity in games, culture and the industry. So this means that we have a snapshot of 40 players and makers to showcase the representation that does exist today and inspire a future generation of diverse talent. We have a new schedule of events starting with this month. You can catch Nigel at the Barclays Games Frenzy on May the 25th. And Nigel's going to be exhibiting and talking about the campaign at the Barclays Canary Wharf headquarters, which sounds very businesslike. I'm sure you'll be very out of place.
I'm also sure.
But that's a one-day session that will be happening at Canary Wharf. And then we'll also be at MCM Comic Con. So May the 26th to the 28th, we'll be spending the weekend at the convention and we'll be showcasing the 40 on the convention show floor. And we'll also be running a roundtable where we'll be challenging the gender stereotypes in video games. So you can come and join us for that. Stay tuned as we do have more events across the year as part of the campaign. But Nigel, do you want to tell us a bit about what other things we have going on?
Yeah, so as well as the events, we have workshops. So we do a bunch of workshops with young people, and one of the programs, which is open to those in Lewisham, for those in the area, to come along. So I'm going to be starting a new 10-week program, which is our comic story workshop program, where young people can come and learn to create comics and characters and put together stories. So that's going to be starting on May 16th. There'll be a link to sign up in the description. You can come check that out. Have fun making comics.
That sounds like a lot of fun. We have a lot as well that we've been working on in the background. So if you're a young aspiring creative professional or you know one, you can check out the mayamada showrunners program. And we've launched a new work experience opportunity for young people aged 16 plus to work with the mayamada team across comic, video games and content creation. So if you want to know more, you can head to mayamada.com/showrunners or email us at hello@mayamada.com to find out more.
And don't forget, you can become a Studio 77 member today to support the work that we do at mayamada. That means you can get involved with things like games nights and interviews and panel events and get exclusive access to manga and artwork in the mayamada universe. So lots in there, and we'll have a new website coming very soon too.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait. There's so much exciting things that we're doing. So each month we like to ask your opinion on something. So we run a poll where we ask for your thoughts on game industry and culture. And we've got the results from last month's poll where we asked you, what game are you looking forward to the most this year? And I will go from least to most anticipated. So down at the bottom, we had Final Fantasy 16 and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which in all fairness isn't this year anymore.
That's a good
It's
point.
now next year.
Yeah.
So is allowed to be down here at 0%. Yeah, very, very accurate. So those both got no votes, with a joint next position of 10% of votes. We've got Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, Tekken 8, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Redfall, Diablo 4, and Street Fighter 6. So they all got 10% of votes. Some anticipation for them. But at the top, both with 20% of votes, we've got Starfield and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm quite surprised with some of those rankings.
Yeah, I mean, the top two aren't too surprising, but I also expected some more love for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And maybe Final Fantasy.
It's interesting. It's interesting to know like where our audience is. Because my Twitter feed, Marvel Spider-Man 2 would definitely be up there with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I've not seen anyone talk about Starfield for God knows how long. But we're asking you a new question this month, and we're asking you, do you want to see a Nintendo cinematic universe? So the Super Mario Bros. Movie is out and absolutely crushing it. We've done a podcast episode on it. It's become the biggest video game to film adaptation and all but confirms more Mario movies to come. But how should Nintendo bring its other major characters on the big screen? So your options are more stories in a shared universe told in the same visual style as the Super Mario Bros. Movie, more stories in a shared universe but in a different visual style by different production companies, or no more shared universes. Each new franchise should be a standalone and feel different from the last one. So you can go and vote on that. We'll leave a link that you can go and let us know your thoughts. You can also tell us more thoughts in the Discord. Nigel, what do you feel about this? Where are you sitting?
You know, so we, as I said, talked about Super Mario Bros. Movie, and one of the things that I think we all could agree on is that it looks very good. And I feel that as good as it does look, I would like to see the variety of characters and stories that Nintendo had told in a variety of ways and styles. I also feel that not everything needs to be a shared universe.
Oh, yeah.
so I'm like, these could be separate. So I feel like each one can stand on its own and just feel different, explore different ways of telling a story.
I'm 100% there with you. We've got enough shared universes.
Yes.
Not everything needs to be, and you can still add Easter eggs without it being like everything is connected, you know? I definitely 100% want to see different styles. Like, I would not want to see a Legend of Zelda story in this style.
No.
I would want that to be like Japanese animation studio, really artsy, because I just think it lends itself to like a really beautiful Japanese animated movie or TV series. So I'd love to see different styles. One that would work with the same styles. I wasn't actually thinking Kirby, I was thinking Animal Crossing.
That could work. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot that style could work for. It's just you don't necessarily want to see everything done.
Yeah, don't need
fit into the same style.
Don't need all of it in the same style, and it definitely doesn't need to be part of the same universe. There's enough IP there to just do loads of different things. So that's where we stand on it. I feel like we're both
take
very...
notes, Nintendo. So, or just call us and we'll talk you through it. So
yeah, we'll talk you through how to make stories.
How to deal with your franchises.
Yeah. It's not like you've been doing it quite successfully for a very long time. But to be fair, not successfully in the movie space. And while we don't make movies, we watch a lot of them.
And we talk about them, so there.
And we talk about them. So I feel like we have some valid opinion.
Yeah, that does it for this month's Studio77 report. Don't forget, you can jump in our Discord. You can also follow us over on Twitch to see the live recording of the report, and jump into Discord to be part of the mayamada community. You can also subscribe to us here on YouTube so you don't miss another video. This is the clean and nicely edited version with all the bloopers missing. If you like bloopers, jump over on Twitch, where you can see our live recording. So follow us on both and take your pick. And we have our Studio77 membership coming. It's a new website, a new platform, and everything. So you can get exclusive access to mayamada stuff and just generally support the work that we do. And then check out the Story X Story podcast, where Tazziii and I have created interviews and video game discussions and deep dives into stories across pop culture. But that's it from us. We will see you again next month. Hi there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also check out our universe of manga and characters at mayamada.com. We'll see you soon.